new session will begin, followed immediately by the city council meeting of March 18, 2026. We have approval of minutes. We then have report of correspondence by city clerk. We have no public hearings. We have two ordinances on second reading. The first one, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic regarding handicap spaces at various locations. Number two, an ordinance to approve a long-term tax exemption and financial agreement between the city of New Brunswick and the Downtown Bell Associates 3 Urban Renewal LLC regarding phase 3. We then have ordinances on first reading. One is to amend the management salary ordinance. Two is being held at the request of the Director of Policy and Development. And three, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 3, Revenue and Finance regarding an additional special improvement district. We then have resolutions 1 through 39. 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll. 3, authorize refund of redeemed tax sale certificates. 4, approve emergency temporary appropriations for 2026. 5, approve transfer of appropriation reserves for 2025 municipal budget. 6, resolution providing for the combination of certain issues of water utility bonds into a single issue. 7, resolution determining the form and other details of water utility bond series 2026 and providing for their sale. 8, authorize cancellation of certain grant receivables and appropriated reserves. 9, approve request for use of city property requested by the Community School for their community school field day at Alex Arsenal Park for May 22nd. 10, approve request for use of city property by Robert J. Boiler Elementary School for their school field day at Murphy Park for June 5th. 11, approve request for use of city property requested by New Brunswick Recreation at Bigelow Park for their Easter egg hunt on March 28th. 12, approve request for city street closure requested by Rutgers University for Rutgers Day at Seminary Place between College Ave and George Street for April 25th. 13, approve request for use of city property and street closure requested by the Brunswick Recreation Department in partnership with NJ Skate and Super Skate Posse for the skateboard event at Monument Square Park, Livingston Ave between New Street and George Street for June 20th. 14, approve award of contract with Dynamic Testing Services for State Department of Transportation Substance Testing Compliance, not to exceed $1,500. 15, advise and consent to name Lorraine J. Nielsen as Chief Municipal Court Judge of the City of New Brunswick. 16, approve amendment of Resolution R-122509 for an additional amount of $5,000 to Patrick J. Madden LLC for Conflict Labor Council. 17, authorize city to enter into right-of-way agreement and sale agreement with State of New Jersey Department of Transportation for the sale of a portion of property consisting approximately of 1,349 square feet along Route 1 U.S. northbound in the amount of $60,000. 18, authorize application, acceptance, and execution of grant agreement for 2026 for SAF Y26 Safe and Secure Communities Grant Program, not to for the amount of $45,150. 19, approve award of contract with Bright View Engineering for 2026 miscellaneous supplemental engineering services, not to exceed $150,000. 20, approve award of contract with CTS Group Architecture Planning PA for architectural design services for Memorial Stadium, locker room, and restroom renovations, not to exceed $95,215. 21, approve relaxation of noise ordinance requested by Chris Anderson Roofing for roof work at the County Administration Building for Saturdays in May. 22, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance and lane closure requested by Super Crane and Rigging LLC for crane replacement around the County Administration Building on Kirkpatrick, Patterson, and Bayard Streets for April 18th and various dates in May. 23, approve amendment of resolution R-082539 with Roman E&G Corp. for lead line services replacement program rebid, not to exceed $1,050,000. 24, approve person-to-person transfer of liquor license from OTB Acquisition of New Jersey LLC to OTB Hospitality LLC. 25, approve person-to-person transfer of liquor license from Golden Rail Pub LLC to DGN Group LLC, that's 266 Easton Ave. 26, authorize agreement with New Brunswick Tomorrow for the neighborhood preservation program, Esperanza neighborhood, not to exceed $125,000. 27, approve resolution authorizing an application to the New Jersey Urban Enterprise Zone Authority for first generation enterprise zone assistance funds for the New Brunswick UEZ for UEZ cleaning team in the amount of $166,000. 28, approve resolution authorizing an application to the New Jersey Urban Enterprise Zone UEZ Authority for first generation enterprise zone assistance funds for the New Brunswick UEZ for marketing and events in the amount of $350,000. 29, approve resolution authorizing an application to the New Jersey Enterprise Zone UEZ Authority for first generation enterprise zone assistance funds for FY27 UEZ administration in the amount of $120,000. 30, approve amendment of resolution R-032552 for an additional amount of $55,000 for the water utility with CME Associates for engineering services for Base Plummer Ave area water main upgrade project, not to exceed $55,000. 31, approve award of contract for design study services for the City of New Brunswick, UEZ wayfinding and signage study with Destination by Design Planning LLC, not to exceed $115,000. 32, approve award of contract with Core and Main LP for furnish and deliver cold water meters, meter transceiver units, and accessories, not to exceed $291,572. 33, approve amendment of resolution R-022674, an additional amount of $5,000 for public property, for public property with Mac Mechanical LLC for temperature control, HVAC, maintenance and repairs, not to exceed $5,000. This will constitute an increase of over 20% of the original contract. 34, authorize professional service agreement with Victorian Digit for police department accreditation policy, maintenance and compliance, not to exceed $7,063.83. 35, approve award of contract, a 3-year contract with Nicuosa Inc. for credit card purchasing for municipal court fees and financial obligations, not to exceed $55,800. 36, approve authorization to advertise for interior renovations at Engine Company number 5. 37, approve amendment of resolution R-032526 for a 1-year contract extension with Brunswick Lodging doing business as Red Carpet Inn for emergency housing shelter. 38, approve amendment of resolution R-092554 for an additional amount of $21,000 for the New Brunswick Free Public Library with Total Security Resources Group for security guard services. And 39, approve amendment of resolution R-112508 for an additional amount of $11,500 for the water utility with Suburban Consulting Engineer Incorporated. We then have items for discussion by council, public comment, and then we have things to remember. City Council agenda review session is set for Wednesday, April 1st at 5:30, and then the meeting immediately following the agenda review session. Call the meeting to order.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar. Here. Councilmember Ferguson.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig. Here. Council Vice President Gaskins is absent. Council President Castaneda.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied in the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick. has been filed with the city clerk and has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board at City Hall and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. We ask everybody to stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to just take this moment to continue to celebrate Women's History Month and continue to recognize and honor the past and current contributions of women in our community. Also, as we celebrated St. Patrick's Day yesterday, let's recognize the heritage and contribution of Irish Americans in our community as well. Lastly, but not least, let's recognize the brave men and women of our armed forces who are currently serving on active duty. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who are put in harm's way. Thank you.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castaneda.
Yes. Madam City Clerk, has the correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office was forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. There's no public hearing, so we're going to move into ordinances for discussion on second reading. First one is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.20, Handicap Parking, Sections 10.20.010, Schedule 39, Parking zones for handicapped persons, and Schedule 40, parking spaces for handicapped persons at various locations. Do any of my fellow council members have any comments or questions on this ordinance? Seeing none, we are prepared to open the public hearing on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person. Once I am up, if any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please approach the council and provide your name and address for the record. Seeing none?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castaneda.
Yes. All right, moving on to number 2, an ordinance to approve a long-term tax exemption and financial agreement between the City of New Brunswick and Downtown Hub Associates 3 Urban Renewal LLC for H3 at the New Jersey Health and Life Sciences Exchange H3. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on the ordinance?
I would like to make a comment, just about, pilots in general are probably one of the most useful tools for development in the city. They're very critical. And they encompass much more than one little issue. So you have a master plan, and then you have redevelopment areas that guide the master plan to get you to where you need to be. In order for that development to happen, you have to have programs like this that make projects feasibly economical for developers to build. Then on top of that, these projects also bring in economic viability into the city outside of what the pilot program is paying towards taxes, even though it's not agreed. In this instance, we were getting $90,000 approximately of a rateable in taxes. Now, initially, we're going to have 1.7 more on top of that because it's approximately $1.8 million. So there's an immediate benefit to it, and then there's a long-term benefit to it as you look over the years and pilots start to terminate and come online and rateables go back into the tax base. So it's really a positive and very effective tool to use, and this is a prime example of that on this project.
Thank you. Being that you're on the subject, we've also did a bit of inquiry thanks to the city administration with respects to taxes. I know that there was a question last week in terms of concerns about these tax incentives for developers and how they would affect the Board of Education with respects to revenue. One of the things, we spoke about rateables, so I'm not going to get into that any further. But what I will say is that what is important for people to note is that the taxes on the property itself still continue to be revenue for the city as well as the Board of Education taking their percentage. And so the taxes that are revenued by the land itself. So once the land gets zoned for mixed use or for other stronger uses, the property value goes up, hence the taxes and revenue also go up. for that parcel, and that's extra revenue coming into the city as well as a portion going to the Board of Education. So being that we were kind of talking about that, I might as well just fit it in right there. Any other comments or questions? All right. I know we have Mr. Palladino here. We're going to put you on the spot. Do you want to kind of do a little summary of H Street for us?
Sure. It's the third component of the Helix project. I'm not going to say the last, because we could have more. You know, there's been tremendous benefits to the city already. When we close on the Patterson Street property in approximately 4 or 5 weeks, we will have paid the city $50 million for the land through the parking authority, which they've used, I believe, for debt reduction. The entire project will have paid will be paying close to $5 million in new taxes, and we will have paid $3 million in community benefit agreements, which are being used for a number of things that you actually all approved. This building is approximately 554,000 square feet. It is 40 stories. I beg to differ with the project that was approved recently, that it'll be the tallest building. Theirs will be the tallest building in Brunswick, because this will be approximately 500 feet. Due in large part because the podium, which is 250,000 square feet, is office space. It is laboratory space for Wind Labs, Rutgers School of Engineering's wireless research facility, which it also, interestingly enough, was started by 4 Bell Labs researchers that left and became members of the Rutgers faculty. So they're coming back. They're going to be next to each other, and we'll be able to collaborate. There's going to be spec space for other laboratories, mostly dry laboratories, but for technology companies. There'll be housing for 99 Rutgers students, medical students specifically. There's 265 apartments. 20% of it, I believe that is 53 units are affordable. We're building both studios, 1, 2s, and 3 bedrooms under the affordables. And it's an exciting project. We'll start in April, and we'll finish by the end of the summer of '28. You know, between H1, where we'll be moving in May, start to move in, the Nokia Bell Labs building, this building, and the Borai building, there'll be 4,000 people who will be working and living and going to class and researching all on that 4 or 5 acres. I think that is probably now the busiest construction site in New Jersey. We had yesterday, between the Nokia project and our project, almost 1,000 men and women of the building trades. This building will be, what we're going to build, it will be all built with all union labor. And we do as much as possible to attract local workers, and have done a really, really good job with that. I think 26% of our workers on the labor worked hourly on H1 have been minorities. So we've done a good job of recruiting, and the building trades have been good at getting local folks to actually work on the project. So I think Councilwoman was correct. We're going to pay approximately $1.8 million in taxes on this site, and today about $90,000 to $95,000 is paid on that street. So we're excited to get going. We've got some good news that's coming up in the next couple of weeks with respect to some of the hospitality opportunities that will be on that site, with some New Brunswick businesses that will be operating those hospitality venues. So, thank you. Any questions?
Appreciate it. All right, so we're preparing to open up the public hearing of this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please approach the council. Please provide your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Councilman, Council President, council members. Charlie Cradaville, live at 143 Saddam Street in New Brunswick, and I'm a candidate for the Democratic nomination for mayor of the city. I wanted to start by thanking everybody for the dialogue, but I continue to have concerns about our school system and the funding mechanisms for it. I believe the liaison to the Board of Ed is absent today, but I'm sure you'll take my word for it, or maybe you read it in the news, but there was actually a slight decrease in the state funding for New Brunswick's public schools this year. And there is simultaneously an increase in the Board of Education's obligation to pay for students who are leaving the school system to attend a charter school. And as a result of those two things, there's going to be an increase in taxes for the residents of New Brunswick if the proposed budget that was introduced last night is approved. And, you know, I, again, appreciate the dialogue here, but I want to add some things to the discussion that might enlighten folks here. So, yes, the land itself has a very low revenue stream for the city right now. The reason for that is it's overwhelmingly been owned by the parking authority, which doesn't pay taxes, right? So that's why it's such a low number to begin with. And while the land will continue to be taxed at the normal split between the school system, the city, and the county, the building, which I believe would be 39 stories, one of the biggest housing projects in the city's history, perhaps the tallest in the city's history, would be by far the more valuable of the two, right? The land, yes, some of those taxes will continue to go to the school system, but the building, the taxes on the actual improvements, we call it, will go 95% to the city, 5% to the county for 30 years, and that leaves 0 for the school system. So I can't, in good conscience, support this without some assurance that something will be done for the school system within the next 30 years, not waiting 30 years for the schools to start getting revenue. What will be done for the public schools of New Brunswick as a result of this project, if anything?
Well, I think you have to consider, number one, that, as you stated, the school has their own budget. In fact, it's almost 2 times more than the city budget. You are correct that they are getting a decrease, and I appreciate you saying a slender decrease, because that is what it is compared to the other areas in the city that got hit, the state that got hit even worse. But the part that you left out that I think is important is that they're making a lot of that up with grants that they got from federal, state, and other grants. And so I believe, if I read it correctly, they're actually going to be above what they thought they were going to have. Again, I'm waiting to see the final budget as well to see exactly what's happening. But the city will continue to work with the Board of Education, as I stated before, to see what we can do within the best interest of our children.
And I think it's important to note too that pilot programs are governed by the state legislature. They right now is governed at 9.5 and 5. There is some movement, I think, and there's some proposals in the legislature to change that and address some of the school issues. As it stands today, that is how pilot programs are governed.
That may be true. The fact is that there is nothing preventing the city or the developer from making a contribution to the school system. Right now, there are municipalities in the state of New Jersey that have passed ordinances to say, we're going to give the schools a cut of the pilot. This city, perhaps one of the most tax-exempt cities in the state of New Jersey, has chosen not to do that. That's your choice, whether you want to share the millions of dollars that will come in from this building, from the property itself, with our schools. I think the right choice for the future of New Brunswick is to invest in the public schools and the school children who are here today, not in 30 years. It's not going to do them any good for them to get a revenue stream in 30 years when they're adults. We need to invest now. That's my comment.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I don't take your time too for a moment. I think Mr. Cradaville is referring to the 163,140 feet reduction, state aid 163. But besides that, it's 20% affordable, which I know you like, we all like. The H sites, 1, 2, and 3, when they're done, will generate well over $300,000 to the Board of Ed. So, good news, Mr. Cradaville, it closes that gap, and it leaves a little bit for your sons.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brandon Gillibone of 68 Harvey Street. I would like to know what percentage of the affordable housing is 3 bedrooms? And while he looks at that, I think since we're building this beautiful, big building, maybe we could dedicate it, instead of constantly focusing on the schools, maybe we could just make it a little broader, right? Maybe we can commit some of that space to a community center that, helps not just our youth, but our elderly that live in the city. I live right up the street from an old folks house where there's a bunch of them, 2 massive buildings. I think maybe we could commit some of that space in that building back to the community. 30 years is a really, really long time. I understand closing the gap, I understand bringing businesses in, but I think one of the best ways to, again, bring community into this space is to create a space for community where students that go to New Brunswick schools can maybe come and do some stuff, or maybe an auxiliary library, or something that can be used by the people, especially if it's going to be in the dead heart of our city.
So, can I,
I was going
Mr.
to ask you
President,
about
can I give the answer? Oh.
Yeah, please.
So there are 53 affordable units. They're broken up in the AMI 35 and 50%. So we have affordable and more affordable units. 11 of them are 3 bedrooms. 32 of them are 2 bedrooms. 5 of them are 1 bedrooms, and 5 of them are studios.
Cool, thank you so much for that. But yeah, I just think, again, every time I come up here, I feel like I'm always saying pretty much the same thing. I'm really just trying to talk about how we can be stronger as a community. I know we do a ton of stuff for a lot of outreach, and I think if we use that space that's right there, that could really benefit everybody. Everybody. So,
Thank you. Anyone else on this ordinance only? Seeing none?
Move ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castellano.
Yes. All right, moving on to ordinances on first reading. We have the first one to amend the management salary ordinance. Can I get a motion?
So move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, April 1st?
Yep.
Yes.
April 1st, 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar. Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castellano.
Yes. As I stated before, the second one was held at the request of the Director of Policy and Development, so we'll move to number 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 3, Revenue and Finance, for an addition of Special Improvement District.
Move the ordinance setting down Wednesday, April 15th, 5:30 PM, same day to be advertised.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castellano.
Yes. All right, moving on to resolutions 1 through 39. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on the resolutions? What did I miss? Okay. What did I miss? Oh, no, the date is correct.
The date is correct.
Yeah, it is correct.
Under the statute, there's notice requirements. There was a-
Okay, moving on. Resolutions 1 through 39. Again, do any of my fellow council members have any questions? All right. I do have a couple of questions, and so on number 5, 6, and 7, Mr. Lorraine, can you give Can you give us just a brief overview of what's going on?
Sure. So number 5 is a normal resolution we put in place for any expenditures that are needed in the new year for the prior year's budget, so there's a reserve budget transfers. Number 6 is related to a bond sale the city's getting ready to hold. We're getting to transfer our short-term notes into bonds, so there's 2 resolutions that play into that. The first that combines multiple ordinances, authorizations into one single issue, and then the second one determines the form and substance of the sale itself.
Great, thank you very much. Then number 14, Mr. Goldberg.
Sure. Council President, resolution number 14 is for our CDL drivers with the city. They're required to do random drug tests in order to maintain their commercial driver's licenses.
Great, thank you. Mr. Shannon, 16 and 17, if you would just take time.
Certainly, Council President, members of Council, 16 addresses the need for more money to pay Special Labor Counsel, Mr. Ned, who's involved in a protracted disciplinary matter on behalf of the city. 17 involves the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation Route 1 Bridge project. They are widening Route 1 and redoing the bridge that goes over the Raritan River. In connection with that project, they're in need of a little bit of the city's land, 1,349 square feet to be exact. And in connection with that particular project, appraisals have been submitted, have been reviewed by the city officials, and the appraisal amount is $60,000, which we find to be fair and equitable, and that resolution will authorize us to accept the offer of $60,000. You will see an ordinance at your next meeting, which will actually contemplate the actual transfer of that piece of property for that price.
Great, thank you very much. Number 33, Mr. Lewis. This is because it will constitute more of a 20% increase.
Thank you, Council President, member of council. Magna Mechanical was the mechanical contractor who was responsible for much of the HVAC work throughout the city. The work that we undertook to get the Dignity Center back open exceeded the resolution amount. So this just gives us the ability to pay the fields.
Thank you. And 37, Mr. Dominguez.
Thank you, Council President. So this is, last year we went out to bid, and I think we went out to bid twice and had to negotiate a price with the Red Carpet Inn for emergency relocation services. Contract allows us to extend for 1 year. This is the 1-year extension resolution.
And can you just give a little bit of, just a little more detail on the emergency relocation?
Sure. So in the event that the city has to close down a residence for structural issues or for code violations, like housing inspections type violations, the city would be responsible for putting people up at the red carpet, and that's what our contract's for.
Great, thank you very much. All right. We're going to open the public comment portion for the resolutions only. One time up, 5 minutes per person. So if you could please, for those that are asking to speak or make a comment, please approach council with your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. I'm gonna go with 14. I'm really just gonna do kind of doing this for a reason, due to where it is time to take my medication. But one thing I would like to say, wow, as much as where you had the whole entire community watching me, like I had no addiction, I had serious issues with medication. Wow, how long have you been really saying you've been testing employees for substances or whatever due to where what? I've seen several employees riding around for years, drinking, drugs or whatever. Do you do it? Pay attention the same way you swore up and down to the public. Ooh, lied and said I OD. Ooh, lied and said I have an addiction just because I've been taking oxycodone for 20 years. Ooh, lions, stay away from me, I got mental issues. Wow, same way you damn really got people watching me creating over 500,000 devils. Why don't you really keep your eye on the ones who do have addiction that's working under you? That's all I do have to say due to where, like I said, after I don't feel comfortable in here, after I was told to get out the last time by Gaskins and Anderson, that's why I haven't been back to a meeting. And like I said, honestly, I don't even want to stay in New Brunswick anymore. It's been 4 months, like I said, temporarily on that Highland Park. But like I said, it felt good to get away from New Brunswick. Because like I said, I don't want to be surrounded by devils, but pay attention to the real ones who are drinking and have an addiction. Because I don't. Medication does not control my body. Me, God, who's my boss, controls my medication. And it's all been proved. And like I said, it's been 10 months where, what? The same way you do a test with them, urine test or whatever, sample, same way I do a urine test with my pain medication, oxycodone, what? And the doctor says I have on paper I don't have an addiction. Because like I said, what? I do things to keep my mind focused off of my pain. But believe me, I will get to the public proportion what you really caused me. And like I said, plenty of lives will never be the same again. But like I said, my point is, do the testing, look at the ones who help the ones who really have an addiction. Not because, like I said, I don't have no addiction.
Thank you. Anyone else on the resolutions only?
Good evening once again, Charlie Cradaville. We'll start with number 15. So can you just clarify for me the role of the chief judge and what responsibilities or compensation they have different than the other two judges?
And the chief judge of the municipal court handles the administrative duties and responsibilities as the judge in that particular municipal court, reporting certain things to the AOC, managing staff with the court administrator. That's the chief judge's responsibility.
Thank you.
And is there additional compensation?
There is additional compensation when the chief when there is a chief in the municipal court.
Okay. How much is the additional compensation?
That would be something I would have to get back to you on. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. I know that she makes more than the other judges, but how much more I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, so she's already being paid more than the other judges?
So she
will.
once she
If this
takes
is
on the
approved.
title.
Got it. Can you tell me, did any of the council members get to interview her or participate in, any sort of confirmation process, or is just a resolution rubber stamping the mayor's choice?
If I can, she's already a sitting judge. She's been here for over a year, maybe a year and a half now. Her term expires at the end of 2027. So Judge Nielsen has been a judge. She's been appointed by the mayor and replaced at the Senate Council probably a year and a half ago.
Right, that doesn't answer my question. Did the council get to interview her or participate in the process at all?
Council President, if I could.
Yes.
So I did not interview her, but I did research on her background. I've been practicing law for, I believe, over 2 decades, graduate of Seton Hall Law, and been serving as a judge, served as a prosecutor, well qualified, and will serve our municipality very well, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I think it would be a best practice in the future for the council to actually request interviews with folks that you're confirming for such important positions like chief judge. I do want to ask about a couple of liquor licenses here. 24 is the OTB. I think that's on the border. They kind of abruptly went out of business and the license is going back into the pocket, as they say. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
correct.
And the Golden Rail, what's going on there? Because I know that there was a horrible shooting there and somebody was seriously injured in one of the upstairs apartments, and then it closed for a while, and then there was some sort of change in management or ownership, and it reopened under a new name. Can anybody tell me what's going on there?
Do you have any other information?
Council President, so this is actually a person-to-person transfer. There is a change of ownership.
with one of the existing members from the Golden Rail remaining on the new LLC.
Okay. Can you give us the names?
I do not have the names off the top of my head, but we do have a representative here, Mr. Patel.
I'm fine, thanks.
What questions do you have?
I just wanted to know what the change is. So
Yes,
is there
so
a
we
new
have-
person joining?
Hold on a second,
Sorry.
you just directed yours, just try to keep procedure here. So you can, everybody's coming through me, so he'll ask the questions, but then.
Okay, so then what is the question?
What's changing here in terms of who's on the license?
What's changing is a lot of the old owners are not there anymore. One of the lawyers stayed, he was a lawyer. He's staying on in a very minimal ownership percentage. As like an advising role, his name is Kenneth Lau. Besides that, everyone else is a new owner.
Got it. Okay, thank you for answering my question. It looks like I only have a minute left, so I just want to note that there's $115,000 being spent for design study services for wayfinding and signage. That seems like a lot. Maybe there's an explanation you can give after my time expires, but you know, if we're just talking about doing a study to figure out where to put signs, I would think that $115,000 would buy you a lot of signs, but if this is just a study, it seems like, you know, maybe a lot of money to pay for a study about where to put signs. Maybe there's something I don't know, hopefully you can tell me. And the last point, I wanted to talk about that item that was already addressed, the Red Carpet Inn emergency housing shelter. Obviously, this is a need when, housing is not up to code and folks need an emergency place to go. I would just posit that there are people who don't have houses and they are in an emergency, and we need to provide emergency housing for them too. So I would like to hear what the city's going to do for the unhoused.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else for the resolutions?
Should be able to respond to those.
I'll get to them. If I don't get to them today, I'll make sure that we can get to it. But just, you know, I don't wanna spend too much time here, but we did talk about all the affordable housing that's going up. I do have some extra comments on that I'll do after the resolutions are discussed.
Carlos Ramirez, reporter, New Brunswick Today. Can you tell me about number 26 on the New Brunswick Tomorrow, what the plan is, and with that money there, what's being done, what's happening, same thing, anything new?
Just a continuation, the fifth and final year of the neighborhood preservation program, neighborhood beautification, business support, general administration. Again, last year, unfortunately, of the program, but this runs last October through the end of this year, premiered at the DCA. And we hope to have a good final year with the funds invested into the neighborhood, and that's part of why the special improvement districts being introduced to sort of become a supporting feature in the area.
If I could get more context on what they do with the preservations, like, and I've seen many things such as street cleanups, murals, if you could go more into depth, what it does?
Yeah, primarily, street cleanups is, they have people who do, this is sort of its own clean team of sorts. That's a significant portion of the cost. It covers the administrative cost of the program. There's murals and neighborhood beautification programs. We, at times, have bought planters and trash cans for the corridor, dozens of them. Trying to think, there's a lot, again, business support, there's business, I think, training work, there's help setting up websites and other technical support for a lot of the businesses in the area. Those are sort of general highlights of what the program does.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Thank you so much. I did volunteer there for a while. Love the planters. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Public comment on the resolutions? Seeing none?
Move resolutions.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig.
Yes.
Council President Castellano.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to redo that. I have to recuse myself on 26.
Duly noted.
It's this cold weather, it's messing with all of us. All right. Thank you. I got so excited people were asking questions. All right. Moving on to items for discussion by council. Do any of my fellow council members have anything that they want to add? Councilman Ferguson?
Yeah, I'd just like to draw attention, if folks are not familiar with the resource created and presented by the New Brunswick Cultural Center, it's called The Buzz. It's their weekly newsletter. It's sent out every Friday. You can sign up by going to newbrunswickarts.org. I find it to be very helpful about all of the different art and culture experiences that happen in the city that are not just at our sort of major arts institutions, but also at some of the community-based organizations. And more than just getting the information and being able to attend the events, if you're involved with an organization, you can submit your events for inclusion in that weekly newsletter. So I know there's a lot of interest in arts and culture and spaces for that, so that's a great opportunity to be engaged as such.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? I have a few things. Number one, last week, or last council meeting rather, we were asked the question about how many affordable housing is in the pipeline. So we'll define the pipeline as homes or units that are under construction, as well as those units post-approved but in pre-construction, and those units that are pre-approval but designated for redevelopment. All in all, we have a running total of 568 units, affordable units in the pipeline. So I think that's a significant number. In fact, it's a lot larger number than what we had originally had thought. And so again, I think New Brunswick, as we can all appreciate that there is a affordable housing need, not just in New Brunswick, but throughout the country. And that we certainly will continue to do our best to address those needs. I think it's also fair to say that New Brunswick is doing its fair share of affordable housing in the state. Lastly, not to call anybody out, but we will. We just wanted to give a final shout out to Shalom Bennett. Oh yes, our deputy clerk since 2019, my first city partner. You know,
Yes.
you will be missed, but thank you very much for all your time with us.
Thank
and
you.
for helping out, specifically working with council.
Thank you, Council. I appreciate it. Flowers are beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Now we're going to move to public comment. We are preparing to open the meeting for public comment for up to 5 minutes per person. One time up, if any members wish to speak during public comment portion, please approach council. Please provide your name and address for the record.
Once again, Danielle Haar, and like I said, even though this would be one time, people will see my heart rate up after taking my medication. But one thing, you see I'm awake, I'm just tired. It's been 10 months. Even with you trying to, fire department, Robert Wood Johnson trying to damn cheat, you still will not win your way. Was it worth 10 months of this, what harm you really caused me? Where I can't really walk anymore? This has nothing to do with my back injury. Then my whole left side and my entire legs were, wow, it took me 5 hours just to walk from, Highland Park to Franklin? No, that's not how it used to be for me. And like I said, wow, lying, saying that I OD. Lying saying that I have an addiction just because I've been taking oxycodone for 20 years. One tablet a day? Due to where I'm taking it 3 times a day now. Yes, but like I told you with the program, give the people something to do to distract themselves, and it works. But like I said, then you tell the public to stay away from me. I got mental issues. All these fumes. Oh, did it still bring my heart rate up? When is the damn fire department and Robert Wood Johnson gonna let this crap go with the burning of the pictures of the burning wall, the switch sparking? Wow, if you really had a damn brain. Wow, I'm in a 3-bedroom apartment by myself. Oh, walking at it. Why did I keep passing out in the same damn location? right where it was burning and sparked with the socket. It's all on Facebook due to where I didn't put the evidence up there. The reason why you won't let it go, because like I said, because another officer, I was damn conscious on the damn body cameras I got from you. Where taking my sling off, raising my arm up and down to see if I'm faking. That's what this damn holdup is about. Like I said, once you've seen the records, due to where what? How long are we still going to continue going through this? And you're involved with it too, Mr. Shammy, due to where what? You never did put any of all of the lawsuits in toward the police department. You didn't put them through the insurance company. You only put 2, and believe me, like I said, all devils will have their day, because that's the way I'm feeling now. I said, due to where what? Many of you that put your hand on a Bible, what you supposed to do at this point, what you have done to me, well, I feel that you don't belong on this earth. And like I said, you don't have to worry about me coming back. But back, like I said, after I was told to go, you tell everybody to stay away from me. I never tried to harm anyone in my life before. Many people as what? That I helped and saved around here. Like I said, what? When are you gonna do this now? Like I said, I had seizures, I had epilepsy, not to tell my business. The only time I was able to get driver's license. Why? Because what? The only time that it would affect me is when a woman, and you will Google it, when a woman goes into their menstrual cycle and due to where their estrogen level is too low, that's where I didn't have to take no medication. I'm taking a seizure medication, but wow, that's for scoliosis. Now that you see, what, even after 19 days, when I stopped, I lost my bottle. 19 days without medication. Did you see me sleepwalking? Not one time. Because that's not what I'm taking. And see, the police do one thing due to where your setup didn't work, where you had my whole house sprayed with these fumes. Oh, she had the keys to my apartment, then the one that I rented the room out. But see, one thing. My setup was already planned before you, and believe me, that was due toward the touch and get every one of you devils who don't do your job the right way. Putting your hand on a Bible, please. What? I say more of you that go to church, you work with the devil, towards the devil. But like I said, when will I get an apology? Like I said, it's been 10 months. What? Like I said, yes, you have people where there were machines at the damn hotel on the other side of the room, shocking me, doing this, and that's how it shows. This never happens to me in public. It would only happen inside the hospital when I would get tested, when I found out what it was for. So like I said, there's no way that this can happen except only by a doctor. And like I said, when are you going to continue cheating?
Thank you.
Like I said, and then the one thing where I'm going to say, thank you. Yeah, you look at yourself as well too, due to where, at your last video, due to where, wow. One thing, do I see racism with you? Yes, I do. Wow, you surely threw the black one out, told him to get out. But wow, did you tell the other young lady that was yelling? Like I said, do you think I want to be surrounded by devils? No, I don't.
Thank you very much.
But your lives will never be the damn same again, and I will pray on it.
Anyone else?
You don't belong
Hey, y'all,
on this
Brandon
damn
Dilbo,
earth.
68 Harvey Street. Real quick, can we get a sign for the speed bump on Nielsen, if that's gonna be part of that project? I don't even drive fast over it, but if you're going 25 miles per hour over that bad boy, you were getting a little bit of air on it, so just maybe a sign, or maybe a change in the speed limit, that I think is a simple fix to it. And do we have any ideas, like, since we're almost out of the winter, we'll maybe be doing some like repairs on our streets? I mean, everywhere was really tore up, so just didn't know if we maybe had a timeline on that.
There are repairs, there's always a repair schedule after the winter, so yes.
Cool.
I'll bring the deals, you fund, the traffic commission.
Thank you.
Council President, before the next person speaks, the asphalt plants will open when the weather, probably soon, if not.
Let's hope.
Very soon. Yeah, the asphalt plants open, we'll be able to start our milling pavement program. But if there are any areas that are in need, please call my office and we'll make sure that
Eric Spear, Jamesburg. Did the council speak about a resolution supporting Senate Bill S2838, Assembly Bill A1665, entitled New Jersey Reparations Task Force?
We have not at this point.
Okay, will you between now and the next meeting?
I can't promise that, but I will promise to approach it with the council members.
Thank you.
Hi, George Selly, New Brunswick. I have a question. The 500, and you said was 560 apartments. I'm back to earth now. We're talking about what we were talking about the apartments, and you made a comment on that. Where are they going up? And one more question, and then I'm gonna let you have the floor. The apartments that are being built right here by the gas station, right here on Front Street, are they also going to be considered low income, or you don't know?
French Street, I don't know, we have to get back to you on that.
It's right there by the gas station on thank you. Yep, right here on the corner, and they just started putting them up. And when you say affordable, what is affordable? Because I know like the ones that you just built down here on, by projects, where the old projects used to be. The 2 bedrooms are going for like $2,300. And that's supposed to be affordable, but that's a lot of money. So I just want to hear, just those answers. What is affordable?
So I know that it goes by, does anybody know the percentage by federal means? It's federal means, right? So federal means is that there's, so the feds, state, household size, in terms of income limits, right? And so a lot of this affordable housing is then dictated by a percentage that they have to be rented at based on those numbers. I don't have those numbers on me right now, but there is a formula that we have to follow. As far as the areas, I can say that there's 293 Townsend Street that is having affordable houses built. There's the Hildebrand Commons, Hoffman Pavilion, 23 Spring Street, obviously H3. And then the other areas are 90 Bayer, George Street, Jersey Ave, and the New Millennium Bank are just other areas that where affordable housing is going to be built.
Okay. Well, so what you're saying is, I understand it, but I want to say it so everyone can understand, the people that are watching. So what you're saying is that when it becomes affordable, if you make, let's say, $23,000 or $32,000 a year, would you still be qualified up under the guidelines of affordable housing?
I don't have those numbers on me. I can certainly look at those guidelines and try to, it's a grid, right? So in fact, you can go yourself and Google, the federal guidelines. What I don't know is what percentage.
Oh, I know the guidelines.
I'm sure. But I have to find out what the percentage is, right? And that would then go into the formula, and then it would show you, because it goes by household size, right? And so there are different factors that it's hard to say a general number until we have those specifics.
No, and the only reason why I'm asking, because you got some people that do have two and three children that aren't making a lot of money. And facts is facts, and that's why I'm asking, are the guidelines for New Brunswick, we ain't worried about no other township, are they gonna be lower to where, if I was a parent, I am a parent, but my kids are grown now, and if I still had my 4 children, and at the time, everybody knows I am a school bus driver, back then I was only making about $20-something thousand a year. If I didn't have Section 8 back then, I wouldn't have been able to survive. So what I'm saying is for the next person, that I'm quite sure there's a lot that was in my predicament and still are, what will you do to make it affordable for them?
So we'll look into it now. When we're talking specifically about this, remember we have to follow the guidelines as dictated, right? And the city's always looking at different ways, and for different people in different income brackets. There are the people, we're talking about people who are in need of affordable housing, and absolutely we need to address them, but there are also the people who are working, who don't qualify for affordable housing, yet can't get into an apartment because they don't make enough, right? And so we're also looking, I know that the mayor is definitely looking at creating housing stock that will address these people that fall, if you will, between the cracks.
Yeah, no, that's what I want to hear, because that's what I'm saying. Not to sound like you know, a broken record, but like I said, if I didn't have Section 8 back in the day, I don't know what I would have did, because I wasn't always married.
I get it.
And you have, you know, I'll be here next month, I'll be waiting for those numbers.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Yanni Mendez Romero. I reside at 2 Taylor Drive in New Brunswick. I'm a parent, a business owner, and a longtime resident. I was born and raised here in New Brunswick. I'm running for city council in June. And my worries about, and something that's been going around was, throughout my community, was an idea of creating a vocational school, which is now called a magnet school in New Brunswick. I know we just spoke about education. Charlie brought that up, and I feel that's a huge need in New Brunswick. We have a huge dropout rate in our high school, and I would love to see our children graduate at least with a trade. Is that something that we can think about in the future in New Brunswick?
We can always look at it, but understand that the county magnet schools, New Brunswick students are eligible to attend the county magnet schools as well. And they can apply and actually go. We have a good number, I couldn't tell you the percentages right now, but we do have a good number of New Brunswick students that are students of the various magnet schools that the county provides. In getting that education and trades.
And you would also, this would be more appropriate to bring up to the Board of Education, not us, it's separate from us. Board of
Okay,
Education is
that's
separate.
good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening once again, Charlie Cradaville. I want to start by thanking Ms. Bennett for her service, and I know we butted heads at least once, but I appreciate her always being professional and thank her for her work.
You even dressed up for her.
Yeah, but seriously, wish you all the best, and thank you again. I wanted to follow up. I think the council has a bad habit of not answering the question that's asked. So a couple meetings ago, I did ask, how many units of affordable housing has the city built in, say, the past 4 years? And so I did some research, and I think I have that answer here. So what these are is they're called CAPER reports. They're filed annually, and so this one is 2024 to 2025, so it's the most recent one. There's not a 25, 26 just yet, but I'd like to hand it out to you all here. And, for our member of the press. Here we go. And I might as well just, they are. And then I got two. It's 21, 22. 22, 23, and 23, 24. And so when you get these, you'll see what the city's goals were for affordable housing and how many units actually were built. And so just going backwards, we can see 24, 25, actual 0. 23, 24, actual 0. 22, 23, actual 0. 21, 22, actual 0. So I believe there'll be some that actually came online within the past year, so when you get to the next CAPER report, you'll finally have something to show. But 4 straight years of 0 units of affordable housing, I don't think that's acceptable. And I think that's part of the reason we find ourselves in an affordable housing crisis. So I want to know, is this something that the council was aware of, or are you just now learning that the past 4 CAPER reports reveal 0 units of affordable housing being built in the city?
Well, I appreciate you giving this, but I do want to give it its due diligence and look it over and then have comments for you the next time about it. I will say that if you're talking about 4 years ago, we're talking about COVID, right? And nothing happened during COVID. And so it's important to take that into consideration if we're going back 4 years. But I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to take my time. We're going to do our due diligence of looking at this and see, what we can come up with and provide you information at that point.
I appreciate it. I will note, you did give an estimate of units in the pipeline. I recall a situation 4 years ago when there was a project at the Sears where a developer wanted to build 700 units, 0 of them affordable. Many people, including myself, pushed back against that and said, we need affordable housing now. That was built during COVID, and it's not completed yet, but 0 affordables was allowed, 0 affordables will be built. And at the time, I inquired about what was in the pipeline, and Mr. Dominguez was kind enough to name 5 projects that had affordable units that he believed were in the pipeline. I'll note that of the 5, only 1 has come online. The other 4 have not. So, you mentioned 293 Remsen, or I'm sorry, 293 Townsend. That was in the pipeline 4 years ago, still in the pipeline today. I see it's coming along, but that's only 6 units. 45 Remsen is going nowhere fast. 100 Jersey, we're all familiar with that site, I'm sure. And, just because something's in the pipeline doesn't mean it's going to come true. So rather than looking at the numbers of sort of wishful thinking predictions about what kind of affordable housing the city might approve or might see through to the finish line, we need to look at the actual results of what this council and this mayor are delivering when it comes to affordability, because the people of New Brunswick deserve better. We deserve affordable housing, and unfortunately, for the past 4 years, we haven't been delivering it. So this is why I sound like a broken record, just like my friend Doris, and I keep bringing up this issue, because when you allow a developer to make millions of dollars building 700 units of housing and require them to build 0 units, that's how you end up in this situation.
Thank you. But just to be clear, that as of the last 6 to 12 months, 53 units have been created. So, I just want to make sure that we added that to your zeros, number one. Number two, there are always reasons as to why things take time. For people that work in development or even making small homes, there are various factors as to what can delay a project, COVID being one of them, as well as other factors. But that being said, as I stated before, if you look at our numbers of creating affordable housing compared to other municipalities, and I'm not blowing up anybody's plot, but I'm just speaking pure figures, we are well above any municipality, at least in our neighboring area, with respect to affordable housing. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't continue, which is why I'm saying that we're looking at over 568 affordable units being built. And so we are committed to provide that affordable housing as much as we can. And sure, challenge us to do more, but also recognize what's been done, because I also think that that's fair.
Yeah, I believe that we're just under 25% of affordable housing in the city, which is a phenomenal number. So, like the council president said, you talk about what's not done, but it's also important to address what has been done and what we have done.
But thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Carlos Ramirez reporting in Brunswick today. Just wanted to ask if there's any updates with the project that was mentioned before, or a resolution with the New Brunswick Police Department acquiring software that will allow city residents to share their private security cameras with them. Has there been any change? Has that been promoted? Where does it stand?
I'm not aware of that. I can look into it, but I haven't heard it. I believe that. I can inquire and try to get you something.
Okay. Council President, what's the reference to? I'm sorry. Was a previous meeting was discussed?
Yes, I think this was like maybe 2-3 meetings ago. Couldn't give you quite a date, but
Okay.
there was a resolution for a software program to be acquired for the police department. Yeah. The other thing is at the corner of one of my homes, Suriem and Railroad, there is markers that don't allow vehicles to park underneath train tracks. Was wondering if we could get those installed in front of the fire hydrant and on the other side of the street where the parking lot for the businesses are located as well. Just because we do have issues with many of these shoppers or visitors coming by, obstructing the fire hydrants or obstructing the other side that my blind drivers and pedestrians are also trying to cross. We had a huge fire about over a decade ago, so it's very essential to have those fire hydrants accessible and visibility for people crossing there. So if we could get markers, cones there at that intersection.
No, it was.
Thank you.
Council President, what was the intersection?
Suriem Road. Suriem Road. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar. Yes. Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Sikora Lewis. Yes. Council President Castaneda.
Yes, good night, everyone.